purpose that just keeps you up at night and is there, Dr. Ken? I said, but you will mentor me. You must. And she said, but I'm retired. And then I looked at her deep. I said, what if I'm the person that's supposed to carry your message long after you're gone? And those 3 years of my life when I was mentored by Hulda Clark changed me forever.
As I can imagine. So tell me some of the things you learned, some of the things that you would embark and share with people that want to avoid an unhealthy and unwell life.
Well, number one, Dr. Ken, and this is what I am. I'm Princess Meradian is the princess of Nigeria. I'm the princess of parasites because parasites are the number one foundational thing about psychoneurolinguistics as well in my background. But when you know your why, then you know your what. And you can figure out how you can do something. His story is so riveting. And I will just say, as I call him the why guy, every guy in there wants to know his muscles. You see, it's that horseshoe, putting the puzzle pieces together of foundational health. When you put your puzzle pieces together with the 5 elements, the 5 sources, the 5 flavors, the 5 cleanses, 5 seasons, everything in Chinese medicine, how you are becoming. We are so tied up in our what, but what is our how? And I just want to share because it's so beautiful. Princess Meradian, so eloquent. And yes, I put her entire lineage in the book. You know why? Because I wanted to know that she didn't buy her princessship. She didn't buy her UN ambassadorship. She just is. And of course, I didn't use spell check. You be February 2nd. This is at 30 minutes after Princess said February 3rd, and this was February 2nd. Who knew? Our Heavenly Father knew. And we just had a grand old time. And now I just want to let your audience, if I may, just indulge me just for 1 minute, that Princess, because time meeting destiny. Thank you, Nefertina, to
All right, welcome to the Dr. Smiley Show and a new friend, Dr. Dee Baer. I met you in New York at the Gala of Princess, and we do
yes.
not dare to say her name incorrectly. So sometimes I just refer to her as Princess. But since you've practiced her name so many times as an MC, you're welcome to let everyone know.
Princess Dr. Maradian Ogalana. It's music. It's music.
Well, it's so exciting to meet you, and the more we talk, the more I see a friend in the making. So thank you for being on the show. Um,
Thank you for having me, by the way. Thank you from the bottom of my grateful heart.
you seem to have health as kind of an important thing in your theme here.
Yes, absolutely. Dr. Ken and Dr. Smiley, as I'm smiling about this inside, from inside and out, music was my talent, but health became my passion. When my mother, now I was a classically trained vocal musician, sang with the New York City Opera. Then this thing called marriage happens and children and everything else. Do you ever get that call, that thing that hits you out of the blue?
Of course, and well, not very often, but yes, you do.
That
If you're paying
call.
attention, if you're paying attention, yes.
Yes, it hit me out of the blue. I'm doing dishes, young wife with a toddler and one right a newborn. Ring, ring, ring. Mama, are you okay, Mama? No, I'm not okay, Mama. Sweetheart, I'm okay, but are you okay? She said, No, Jody, they just told me I have cancer.
Hmm.
It's when time met destiny. And I rolled up that toilet paper roll, Dr. Ken, till there was no more roll. You see, my father had passed when I'm 3.5 years old. Now I'm 26 and no parents. I went and I booted back to Montana, my hometown, in Laurel, Montana, population 300. My office is about the size of that library. And Dr. Smiley, I found my purpose. I found my purpose because I went back to these dusty books and I found these age old, centuries old protocols, natural healing that allowed my mother not 6 weeks to live, 2.5 years length of life, way beyond her 6 weeks to live diagnosis. And there, Dr. Smiley, and I mentioned that when we were in the gala at the UN with Princess Meradian. And she, as she was transitioning from this world to the next, she looked up at me And she said, Jody, give others hope the way you've given it to me. Those were her last words to me.
Mm.
And I've taken that as a young health coach. I took that now 48 years in the making, and that's what I've done. I've given others hope.
That's probably one of the most important gifts you can give.
Yes. And you know what hope stands for with me. But I'm going to let your audience in. Is that okay, Dr. Ken?
Oh, I encourage it immensely.
So, hope, H, go down into yourself to heal because no one knows you like you do. Then go up in opportunity to your true north. Come in positivity, in empowerment. And then the empowerment E is to first empower yourself, your circle in the world. That is what hope stands for me.
Well, yeah, I've heard different acronym explanations. That's certainly beautiful. A friend of mine in New York said HOPE stands for Hold On, Pain Ends.
That is so true too, because my mother had no pain. And secondarily, about health and all of this, you have those things called children in your life. And I'll never forget it like it was yesterday, 41 years ago. I'm picking up my little toddler. Now he's me, still to this day. Dr. Smiley, he's me with testosterone. Okay. And he had this beautiful blonde hair, these aquamarine eyes, and tears coming down his face. And he said, Mommy, am I always going to be sad? Well, I booked into that preschool and they were looking for a diagnosis. They said he has, those initials ADHD. And I'm going, So I took him home, went ahead, made lunch, wanted to just divert his attention. Time met destiny with me, Ken, a second time. Dr. Smiley, what happened is I turned on a show to divert my son's attention. And it was the back to school show with Dr. Hulda Clark, the iconic Dr. Hulda Clark. And she went ahead and said to the Phil Donahue show and to Phil Donahue himself, just maybe these children don't have a label. How many of us like labels? No one. Your diagnosis is not your prognosis, as my mentor Les Brown says. And what we did is that she said to me something that changed my life a second time. And she said to me, just to my heart, perhaps these children need to grow into your brilliance. Then she said, I'm living in Atlanta, which I did at the time. That's that be and live the law of attraction. I took my son, we had 3 days where he was expelled from preschool and went ahead and I looked for every woman who didn't dye her hair, had sensible shoes, and every person that looked, man or woman, that looked like they were vegetarian. I found Dr. Hulda Clark. Now, maybe right now in this world you wouldn't do this, but I knocked on her door. I told my son that he had to help me. It was, Mommy, what should I do? And I said, when I squeeze your shoulder, son, just smile. I knew you'd like that one, Dr. Smiley. And smile he did. Of course, Dr. Clark said, I'm retired. I'm not taking on any more patients. And I said, but you will take him. Squeeze the shoulder. He smiled. We were in. 3 days, 3 days, the triune number. He was completely different. He changed his whole health pattern. I took him back to school. Of course, the teacher said, what did you give him? I said, a vitamin. I didn't share. But what I shared was my enthusiasm going up the road all the way to Alpharetta. Knocked on Hulda Clark's door and she said, how's your little boy doing? Just fine. I didn't say, will you mentor me? When you have that burning desire, that purpose that just keeps you up at night and is there, Dr. Ken, I said, but you will mentor me. You must. And she said, but I'm retired. And then I looked at her deep. I said, what if I'm the person that's supposed to carry your message long after you're gone? And those 3 years of my life when I was mentored by Hulda Clark changed me forever.
As I can imagine. So tell me some of the things you learned, some of the things that you would embark and share with people that want to avoid an unhealthy and unwell life.
Well, number one, Dr. Ken, and this is what I am. Princess Meradian is the princess of Nigeria. I'm the princess of parasites because parasites are the number one foundational thing about health. But you see, as I was being mentored, and I will share this with your beautiful audience, if I may, as she was changing me and I was doing this eradication, I still to this day do her protocol.
Hmm.
And her book, I've got the third book in my library because they all fall apart. It's called The Cure for All Diseases. Some of it you can tell was written in the 40s, but it's an amazing book. And I am on the Hulda Clark Legacy Foundation on her board. And it just thrills me to say this, but let me share this card. Little old, what do you think? March 1984. I will pen the Eastern medical version of the PDR. Never underestimate the power of a goal. I know you live by that. You live on purpose, in your purpose, and for a purpose. Dr. Smiley, it shows every single day. Every time I have an encounter with you, you have that energy, that mindset, that energy. That's the other thing that I learned from her. And mindset and energy, if you take those two initials, it's me.
That's
It's
right.
me. And so, who knew that we would have COVID? Who knew that I would ask my husband, do you think I can? Wasn't into Netflix. Who knew that I would start writing my book out of my dissertation, which became the 21 Days to Your Best You? And I got hooked on writing. Now, 70
When was
times,
this? When was this?
this was in 2021. And I finished it in 2023. It's the 21 Days to Your Best You. My husband said to me, well, are you just going to keep this dissertation on the dining room table? It's a little thick. That's how he was such a support of me. Then we go ahead and I said, do you think I know so many people in health? Because you see, the reason I was making that transition myself is I had retired. I had retired, sold my practice, think January 2020, I'm done. I'm 66. Fine. Then my husband looked at me when COVID hit and he said, you've got to get back in. I said, I have. How many times have you heard, I don't have this, I don't have that, I don't have this? And he looked at me, a lot taller than me, and he said, when you get to 58, there are no more alibis. He was talking about Think and Grow Rich, the
Hmm.
57 alibis. And he said, just how much yoga are you going to do? I thought to myself, he's right. So with no website, no this, no that, I started doing telehealth. And I found that people were getting well because the body put in the right condition can and will heal itself.
Hmm.
That's the real principle that I gleaned at that little health coach with one certification back when I was 26. But back to Dr. Clark, I was looking for protocols that I had a client patient, his son was off the rails. He was confined. He needed to be outside, and COVID was there and everything else. And out fell this gold card. I completely forgot about it. Never underestimate what's written on tablets of stone, as the Bible said, on paper or on your phone. And I looked again at my husband and he said, so you think I can do these like anthologies? And he goes, well, you're a walking encyclopedia of health. That's how the name Healthipedia was born. Thank you, Bob Bear.
He is very awesome. I wish I could have met him, and I know it was quite a tribute we had in New York for him. So that was very
Yes.
wonderful. And the Healthipedia, I do want to just have people really know that that's an access point to them having vitality and having a better well life. Can you give a couple examples in the book that maybe some people don't know about that your book shed some light on?
Yes, because the one thing, when you read our books, I base this on my whole entire practice of almost 5 decades now. The
Hmm.
6 pillars of traditional Chinese medicine: spiritual, then it goes to mental, emotional, physical, financial, and social. So in Healthipedia, we have people with mental health, but we did it with a way because from your test becomes a testimony. For those that are lay people that aren't practitioners, they would write their story and then their belief. For those practitioners like myself, they would write their story and then more about their philosophy. But how many times do you want to have something that you can do for you, Dr. Ken, like a real action steps? So every single story has action steps. I didn't know we had 365 action steps
Wow.
on our Healthipedia book. So that's how our YouTube channel came about, Healthipedia 365. I've just fallen into this. I'll give you an example. Dr. Gary Sanchez, known as the Y guy. He was the star student, like I was with Hulda Clark, of Simon Sinek of the Nine Whys, and
Right.
created something along that line. And like he talks about personality, and I have NLP and master's training in psychoneurolinguistics as well in my background. But when you know your why, then you know your what. And you can figure out how you can do something. His story is so riveting. And I will just say, as I call him the why guy, every guy in there wants to know his muscles. You see, it's that horseshoe, putting the puzzle pieces together of foundational health. When you put your puzzle pieces together with the five elements, the five sources, the five flavors, the five cleanses, five seasons, everything in Chinese medicine is built around five. So, Dr. Ken, will you put your hand up and give me five?
Of course I will. Boom.
Boom. And then as my why is better way, isn't that interesting? Before I met Dr. Sanchez, 21 days to your best you. At that, I would do that. And notice the head is exploding. That kind of fits me too. But as far as this goes and how beautiful it was, I said, okay, the next one is definitely women's health because women come before gentlemen. We will be launching, when we do our symposium with Healthipedia in Greece, we'll be launching Real Men Are Aware, and it's got muscles to it. Okay. But
When
right
is
now,
that? When is that?
we are going to start taking applications in September for
Okay.
this year. But when Dr. Jim, who is my mentor, trainer, and now co-founder and partner with Healthipedia, when I said, I don't think I want power of a woman, I want something else. And he said, Dr. Jody, I got our message out of a meditation. I actually heard the essence of a woman is everything. And here is essence of a woman. And we were able to have the illustrious Tiffany Haddish, acclaimed actress and comedian of Girls Trip. That was only because we were in service during COVID, giving her a remedy that Dr. Jim and I had created. And it's an antiviral because all viruses then come from parasites. Viruses make inflammation. You add stress, you have disease. It's that easy. So if you can, and treatments may or may not help, but regeneration always helps, like I said, because the body put in the right condition can and will heal itself. So I'm booking our remedy to Tiffany. I didn't even know who she was. I don't watch movies. It was somebody who knew a friend of a friend. I go ahead and service, just like I've seen you. The twice times that I've been with you have been twice wonderful. Seeing you just being of service to the women this last March at the UN was phenomenal. You always know right time, right place. You're magic with that lens, but you're magic in service. And that's what I did. I went to Orlando, same day service. Tiffany took the remedy. She went from negative to positive, and the movie went on. So it was pretty easy to say, Tiffany, will you be in our book? Then Dr. Khalila Camacho Ali, Muhammad Ali's wife, I had the pleasure of meeting her only when I walked into a room. Now, I know, Dr. Kent, when you walk into a room, do you look at the one that has the most energy? You do, don't you?
Of course. Yeah.
And there was this techno music playing, which is so not me. I'm a classically trained vocal musician. And I saw this beautiful woman sitting at the table, and I went up to her and I said, are we the two best looking women over 45 in this room? Because it was a younger crowd. And it was Dr. Kalila. It was love at first sight, just like I loved your energy and your service when I met you at the gala. And of course, then Princess Maradian came through my connections with Les Brown, the beautiful Kim Jacobs, who must be on your show. She is just like one of those women. And then Dr. Nefertina has become my sister from a different mister, who is just the ambassador, queen of achievement, runs Princess Meradian's North American division. And she said, we need to get Princess Meradian in the book. And that's how it goes, those connectivities of these women. And of course, it's 40 women again. Why 40? It's a foundational number. For quarters in a football game, for corners in a building, 40 is a foundational number, which with to build, once again, spiritual, mental, emotional, physical, financial, and social. And our princess, I just got to share, my quote's pretty good. And so is Dr. Jim. The essence of a woman is in everything because you're half mom and you're half dad. You just are. You're sperm and egg, you're X and Y. But then what beautiful thing came out of it was I've got to give a shout out to Dr. Glenn Depke. He is naturopathic, traditional naturopath, only does women's health. I call him the happy hormone doctor.
Right.
He changes women in menopause like none other. And of course, my story in the social pillar is really my next chapter of what I'm living today. And it's the woman in the white robe in this who knew that my husband would graduate to heaven. But it is so fitting because I used Rex Sykes, the iconic Rex Sykes, that said to me way back when, and he is in the mental pillar of our chapter of our book in Healthipedia. His thing is celebrate everything. When you celebrate everything, everything is celebratable. And my quote is immerse yourself in the flow of who you are and how you are becoming. We are so tied up in our what, but what is our how? And I just want to share because it's so beautiful. Princess Meradian, so eloquent. And yes, I put her entire lineage in the book. You know why? Because I wanted to know that she didn't buy her princessship. She didn't buy her UN ambassadorship. She just is. And of course, I didn't use spell check. You being a fellow publisher, we didn't use spell check. We just let it go on. But her quote is that the essence of a woman is just not the whispers of her soul, but the elegant grace that echoes through eternity. And that to me is what are we echoing now? You're echoing brilliance in your Dr. Smiley show. You're echoing brilliance. I've learned so much from you. So thank you for letting me share, Dr. Ken.
Well, my pleasure. I happen to have Glenn's picture handy, and I wanted to show it to the world. And I'm inclined also to show that beautiful event we did together. But
oh my God, who knew my Dr. Glenn?
Isn't that funny?
See, birds of a feather just flock together.
He is, and by the way, he won the Heart of Gold on that cruise, which was just
Oh.
one more vote. There were 400 people, and you got to vote on who you thought had the biggest Heart of Gold, and he won that. So,
oh, I'm going to work this in. He is on my Doctor Talk show once a month that we have a symposium, and see, it says down here, Dr. Glenn Depke.
and that's something.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know, if we could sit down with our Rolodexes, does not take us back, but our databases, it would be amazing, I'm sure. We have a lot of similarities, I'm sure.
Yes, we do. I was actually doing a real quick look if I can find it. It was the event that we were at, and I'm not finding it that quickly. So we'll put a link to some of the photos of that magical night that Princess helped create. And I think that is the magic of who she is. She is really the queen of bringing heart-centered leaders together.
Yes, because collaboration is the new currency, as she said. And I just want to give one more shout out because who knew? She calls me up. I had a what we did the first event that we had for my husband was on Zoom. It was a virtual event because he was a global six continent archaeologist. People know him from all over the world. She came, she stayed the whole time, 2.5 hours of a tribute with 250 people through her room. And she said to me, I want to nominate him for an ambassador of peace. Now, the only thing, Ken, I knew about the UN was the flags. Okay.
Right.
I I hadn't been in there, whatever. That Time Meet Destiny, Tony and Christina Doty of Dreammaker Productions. Christine is in our book, The Essence of a Woman. He said, I've got one date that we could bring your authors in Healthipedia onto the NASDAQ and the Times Square board. Can you do February 2nd? This is at 30 minutes after Princess said February 3rd, and this was February 2nd. Who knew? Our Heavenly Father knew. And we just had a grand old time. And now I just want to let your audience, if I may, just indulge me just for 1 minute, that Princess, because time meeting destiny, thank you, Nefertina, to do this baton one more time, that my husband has been earmarked with a blessing from the UN to create a foundation and a memorial scholarship fund. There will be one Bobby and one little Barbara Bear every single year that just get the bug of archaeology like my husband did as a young boy at 11. And we'll say that's the story for later. But going ahead and having that little Barbara and Bobby having a passion for the past, just empowering the present. And then guess what? They will enlighten the future of humanity. And that's what we're about to do in September. I think we need to do another show around that, don't you?
I do too, it looks like I got some reading to do. I want to read my Healthipedia.
There we go, because you can use one action step a day, 365 days. Do you think you're going to be better at the end of that year than you were before?
Be
Absolutely.
ready in 7 days. You'll be better. You'll be better then. You said four, and you said 40, uh,
Yes.
and I want to add 4 seasons in a year.
Yes. However, I will have to correct you being a Chinese traditional holistic practitioner. Guess what? There are five. Did you know?
I did not know.
And you know why? Check the number five in traditional Chinese medicine. You know why? Because there is what do I want to say? Indian summer.
Okay.
And it goes from September to the end of October. And when you eat according to the five seasons, your vitality will be amazing. I'm putting on a blog today. It's a little late on and I've never done one on spring. That and guess what you eat the most of in the spring, Ken?
I'm just going to guess fruit.
Fruit is good. Fruit is good. Watermelon is good because it's digestant. The other item is what sprouts up in the spring. Things sprout up. So you eat sprouts, mung bean, alfalfa, broccoli sprouts, anything that sprouts up out of the ground like that in from seed, flax seed, nuts, all of those things. It will absolutely do amazing things to that foundational chakra in your large and small intestine. That's my health tip for today.
That's a great health tip. And I wanted to just comment on a couple things. First of all, you did a smile card, and
Yes, I
on the
did.
back, it says there are 3 hope books. And you talked about how important hope is. Over 700 books, but the 3 that are on the back here all have to do with hope. And it is the most important thing that you bring to the world, because a friend of mine said, if you have your health, you can envision and have missions of everything. But if you don't have your health, you only have one.
You only have one.
Yep. And I
That's
want
enough.
to show off this amazing crowd, you being the MC of that night. Isn't that a beautiful?
Yes. It was just beautiful. And to the absolute end, that
There's
handsome
Princess.
guy in the white princess.
She's screaming. Can you see her? She's screaming. She's so happy in there. She's on the far left. And then, of course, we have your photo. Let's see here. There's your photo with a smile card. And then we have one more to show. Someone that kind of, I think he's sharing the energy of the day or the energy of the night. This one.
Oh, and he was the one that was in the back of the room and said to me, Dr. Hope. I had never thought about branding myself that way. What a beautiful gift he gave me.
And since you do like 5, I'll say 2 5s for you. All right.
Okay?
One is because you're my sister in publishing, and the other
Yes.
one is because you're my sister in smiles. All right. You ready for this?
Yes.
Which one would you like first, publishing or smiles?
Publishing.
Publishing. A, B, C, D, E. Authority, business acumen, credibility, distribution, expert.
Shh.
All right. You ready for
Okay.
smile?
Yes.
SMILE, seeing miracles in life every day.
Amen. Amen. And
So
I've seen miracles with you just this small time that we've spent together. Thank you so much, Dr. Ken.
Yeah, and I see all kinds of wonderful invitations to both of our opportunities and us synergistically really making a bigger difference in the world. And that's what it's about.
It certainly is. And can I leave one of my all-time favorite quotes? I'm going to leave you
Actually,
two.
I would like you not to. I'm going to tell you why.
Okay.
Because
Then I won't.
because I have a structure, and you're going to end with.
Oh,
We have four more questions. They're all quick.
oh,
So
okay, let's go.
so actually, it's six questions, but they're all super quick. How
Okay, I'm
how can,
quick.
how can people connect with you?
You can connect with me on drjodee.com and it's spelled JODEE.com.
Great. And is there a social or anything else? Just go there, right?
You can go there, social media,
Your
health.
IG is amazing. Your Instagram is really good.
Thank you. Thank you. My Instagram, I have two accounts. I have my health account where I give people health advice, and that is Health Coach Jodee, spelled JODEE. That's what my daddy gave me. And then Healthipedia 365. And then LinkedIn, Healthipedia, or Dr. Dee Baer, and also Facebook, Healthipedia.
Super. So these are this section's called rapid fire, and the theory is that you are letting people know how they could be more like you because of how you're quote unquote programmed, what your favorite things are. Okay, you ready? So
Gotcha.
so what book, and you don't have to elaborate, just what book changed your life?
The Bible.
Okay, and then you can go with the second one because Bible's number one choice.
And my second book is when I put my dissertation into 21 days to your best you, because
There,
it's done that well.
good. What movie inspires you?
My most inspiring movie, I believe, was Ben-Hur. I just love him.
It is a good one. Little bit of money went into that. That was that was epic.
Yes, a smidge, a smidge.
All right. What song gets you going? I remember you having some songs at the event.
Yes, my song "There Is Hope" that I sang the background vocals for with Alicia Williamson, and we got a Dove and a Grammy for it.
That's awesome. And who is your hero, or who would you like to meet?
Who would I like to meet? Well, I'm meeting him next week at the Oval Office, President, along with RFK Jr. Make America Healthy Again. My cup of tea.
Congratulations. And
Thank
now,
you.
drum roll. You have two quotes. What quote do you live by, and what bonus quote would you like to give to the audience?
I'm giving you a health quote, and that is I gave the immerse yourself in the flow, but it's really, really true. When you become health, it's everything. No food tastes as good as health feels. No food tastes as good. Health feels that number one you were talking about, isn't it? And my ending quote that I want to give to you and your audience is when you take care of you and your world first, the world around you is empowered forever.
It's beautiful. I'm so glad we didn't do the quotes early because I would have said, well, what quote? And you say, I already answered that. All right. Well, I hope to see you soon and have you on the show many more times. And looks like we had a little book exchange to do. So we'll talk again soon. All right.
Let's do that. Thank you so much, Ken. You are the smiles. You are the bee's knees.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Judy. And I'm just going to exit out.